今日もお付き合いいただきありがとうございます。今日の主なニュースを英語でお送りします。
Very strong Typhoon 18 is expected to approach Okinawa and the Amami Islands from the 25th onward. Winds are expected to grow stronger there. From the 25th through the 26th, some areas may face extremely violent winds strong enough to destroy homes. The weather agency urges people to prepare early.
At 5:05 p.m. on the 24th, the Mabashi Local Meteorological Office issued Level 4 heavy rain and landslide danger warnings for Numata City and Kawaba Village in Gunma Prefecture. The risk is extremely high for flooding in low-lying areas, rivers overflowing, and landslides.
Temperatures rose across wide areas of western and eastern Japan on the 24th. Some places in the Kinki region were above 39 degrees Celsius. Disaster-hit areas of Kumamoto Prefecture also faced extreme heat. People are urged to take thorough steps to prevent heat stroke.
A 17-year-old second-year high school student in Sagamihara has died after being found unconscious on a farm road. A friend called emergency services early on the 22nd, saying he appeared beaten. He had marks on his head. Police suspect a crime and are investigating the cause of death and circumstances.
A 49-year-old woman who ran a restaurant was found dead at her home in Kanoya, Kagoshima Prefecture on the 28th of last month. Police have determined that it was a murder and established an investigative headquarters at Kanoya Police Station on the 24th. A press briefing was scheduled for 4 p.m.
The Justice Ministry plans to revise Japan's anti-prostitution law. A draft report proposes punishing people on the buying side who solicit prostitution, not only those on the selling side, and raising the maximum fine. The report is to be finalized in September, with a revised bill expected to be submitted this autumn.
Japan's Transport Ministry plans to require driver monitoring systems in domestic and imported vehicles. The systems detect smartphone-related distraction and drowsy driving, then issue warnings. Regulations are expected to change in September. The rule would apply to new vehicle models from 2031 and continuing production models from 2033. Cameras monitor the driver's eyes and eyelids.
The Consumer Affairs Agency plans broad regulations on dark patterns, methods that skillfully guide consumers to choose actions favored by businesses. On the 24th, it presented an interim proposal to an expert panel while considering revisions to Japan's Specified Commercial Transactions Act.
At a business forum for Latin America, the Caribbean, and Japan, Finance Minister Satsuki Katayama announced an additional $10 million to support critical mineral development and other projects. Japan will support business opportunities in 5 fields, including mining, infrastructure, and food production. With earlier funding, the total contribution will reach $30 million.
次は社会のニュースです。
Japan's Justice Ministry is considering a bill that would also punish buyers who solicit sex. Currently, the law punishes solicitation by sellers, but not by buyers. A draft report also calls for a higher maximum fine. The ministry plans to finalize the report in September and submit the revised bill to the extraordinary diet session this autumn.
In Kumamoto Prefecture, 38 people have died in the earthquake, including people suspected of disaster-related deaths. As of 2 p.m. on the 24th, 2,684 people were taking shelter in evacuation centers. The prefectural disaster headquarters released the figures as it continues to assess the damage.
On August 25th, dangerous heat is expected across Kyushu. Kumamoto and Saga cities, along with other areas, could reach 40 degrees Celsius. Extreme heat will spread to the Kanto region, and Tokyo may reach 35 degrees for the first time in about 3 weeks. People should avoid outdoor work during the day.
Very strong typhoon number 18 is expected to come closest to the Daito Islands on the night of August 24th and directly hit Okinawa's main island from August 25th to 26th. Residents should prepare before winds strengthen. High waves, warning level heavy rain, and storm surges are possible, and the effects may last.
A 17-year-old second-year high school student was found collapsed on a farm road in Sagamihara, Kanagawa Prefecture, and later died. Police say his head had marks that looked like he had been hit. A female friend called emergency services, 4 teenage acquaintances were at the scene, and a motorcycle was nearby. Police are investigating.
Former Lower House Speaker Tamisuke Watanuki died of old age on August 18th at 99. He served 13 consecutive terms in the Lower House and held senior government and party posts. He opposed Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi's postal privatization plan, left the Liberal Democratic Party, and later returned in 2016.
An expert panel at a government consumer agency is considering stronger protection after repeated problems involving harmful online solicitations. Its interim report includes a plan to extend cooling-off rights to solicitations made through chats on social media. The panel is discussing these measures in response to consumer trouble caused by internet sales approaches.
Japan's transport ministry plans to require cars to have driver monitoring systems that detect distraction and drowsiness and sound an alarm. The rule would apply to new models from September 2031 and existing models from September 2033, including imported cars. The system checks drivers' eyelid movements and gaze with a camera.
3 years after treated water releases began at Fukushima Daiichi, about 172,700 tons have been discharged in 22 rounds. Tank storage has fallen 7.6% to about 1.2434 million tons. The target is to finish the releases by 2051. Japan, the operator, and the IAEA monitor the releases with no abnormalities found in seawater or seafood.
次はビジネス関連のニュースです。
SoftBank Group says it will issue 1 trillion yen in corporate bonds for individual investors. It would be Japan's largest single offering for individuals. The expected annual interest rate is 430 to 490%, with a 7-year term. 600 billion yen will fund AI investment, and 400 billion will support repayments.
Chief Cabinet Secretary Kihara says Japan must work closely with the United States and other members of the international community in dealing with North Korea. His comments come as President Donald Trump has expressed a desire to meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un within this year. The issue includes Japan's abduction problem.
The Internal Affairs Ministry's request for fiscal 2027 totals 21.9171 trillion yen, up 3% from the initial 2026 budget and a record high. Its proposed local allocation tax is 21.0624 trillion yen, up 4.3%. The ministry also seeks 102 billion yen for regional businesses, including AI-based work reform and new projects.
Chief Cabinet Secretary Kihara avoided specific comments about a possible cabinet reshuffle and changes to Liberal Democratic Party leadership. He said these decisions are for Prime Minister Sanae Takeichi to make. Within the party, Attention is growing because the Takeichi administration will reach its first anniversary, and reports suggest changes may come in September.
A bipartisan group of 3 Japanese lawmakers has visited China and is arranging talks in Beijing with officials from the Chinese Communist Party's International Liaison Department. It is the first such visit with party officials since Japan-China relations worsened after Prime Minister Sanae Takeichi's parliamentary remarks about a Taiwan contingency last November. The group will also inspect Chinese technology.
3 years have passed since treated water from the Fukushima Daiichi plant began being released into the sea. About 173,000 tons have been discharged in 22 releases. Import bans have caused seafood prices to plunge, and some producers may have to give up without compensation. Contaminated water still forms at about 60 tons a day. China continues its ban.
Isuzu is moving toward commercial use of self-driving trucks. The company began public road tests of large autonomous trucks this year and is building a dedicated test course in Hokkaido, with part expected to be used this summer. Its goal of launching a business during fiscal 2027 remains unchanged. Safety and regulations must be addressed step by step.
Suzuki says it will launch its K-size electric vehicle this fall. The e-Sky is about the same size as the Alto and has a reported range of 310 kilometers per charge. It uses 97 watt-hours per kilometer, aiming for high efficiency. Gentle acceleration feels like a gasoline car, and the familiar shift lever remains.
Starting in 2031, Japan's Transport Ministry will require vehicles to have a driver monitoring system. The system detects distracted driving, such as looking away from the road, and sounds an alert. The policy aims to prevent accidents caused by using a smartphone and doing other activities while driving.
では、スポーツニュースをお伝えします。
Japan national soccer team player Koki Ogawa has agreed to move from NEC Nijmegen in the top division of the Netherlands to FC Machida Zelvia in Japan's J1 League, according to club sources. Ogawa is 29 years old and comes from Kanagawa Prefecture.
Figure skating pair Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara, known as Riku-Ru, announced their engagement on Instagram on August 23rd. They won Japan's first Olympic gold medal in pair skating in February. They said they have supported each other through good and difficult times and have become essential to one another.
Miyu Yamashita won a women's golf event in Edmonton, Canada on August 23rd. She led from the first day and finished at 23 under par. This was her second win of the season following her victory in June. Yuki Yoshida finished second.
4 Japanese pitchers had a difficult day in Major League Baseball. Kodai Senga lost after giving up a walk-off home run. Shota Imanaga left after 2 innings. His shortest Major League outing, Tomoyuki Sugano allowed 5 runs in 3 innings, and Yusei Kikuchi gave up 5 runs in 5 innings.
Former Japan women's volleyball player Ai Kurogo announced that she will join AEK Athens in Greece. She left Saitama Geomedics in July. This will be her first overseas challenge. Kurogo said she is excited about a new team and growth, but she cried while thanking Ageo for 3 valuable years.
Japan national team forward Ayase Ueda scored from a penalty in stoppage time for Feyenoord against Cambuur on August 23. It was his second goal in 2 straight games. The match was stopped for more than 30 minutes after fireworks and smoke appeared in the stadium, but Ueda stayed calm.
Shohei Ohtani started for the Dodgers against the Pirates. He had no hits, but he stole a base and helped create the game's first run. The Dodgers won again, earning their 6th straight victory.
Kokoni Kondo, a representative for the Milan Olympics, has publicly accused others of bullying and power harassment. Kondo reported that she was a victim of these actions. The report identified her as an Olympic representative and described her allegations as a serious personal complaint.
Naoya Inoue mourned former two-division world champion Zolani Tete, who was shot and killed in South Africa on August 22 at age 38. Inoue posted that Tate was a great boxer and expressed his hope for peace. Tete had held world titles in the super flyweight and bantamweight divisions.
続いて、国際ニュースです。
Russia's invasion of Ukraine reaches 4.5 years. Fighting on the front lines remains deadlocked, while both sides are increasing long-range missile and drone attacks. Civilians are increasingly suffering. At least 437 civilians were killed in July. The highest monthly figure since May 2022, peace prospects remain unclear as Russia maintains a hard line.
Ukraine's Prime Minister Serhiy Koretsky says he strongly expects Japan to provide air defense weapons, including missiles that can intercept ballistic missiles. He says these weapons are needed to protect civilians and power infrastructure and to get through the winter heating season. Ukraine says interceptor missiles are running out, while peace talks supported by the United States remain stalled.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent says the confrontation between the United States and Iran has reached its final stage. In an opinion article, he again said the United States will impose what he called the largest sanctions in history against an enemy country. The statement was made on August 23.
China is expanding a hybrid strategy toward Taiwan, combining military and non-military pressure. Chinese naval ships and aircraft carriers are increasingly active in the Pacific, while the Coast Guard is practicing blockade operations. These drills may also prepare for customs and quarantine procedures against Taiwan and foreign ships trading with it. Taiwan has increased its alert level.
A U.S. federal judge has invalidated the government's temporary suspension of immigrant visa issuance for people from 75 countries. The judge said the policy violated the law and that the Secretary of State exceeded legal authority. The decision is a setback for President Trump's immigration crackdown, though the government can appeal.
At least 159 people have died after Typhoon number 10 hit China in early July. 10 people are still missing, and more than 1.65 million people were affected. In Nanning, heavy rain caused several dams to fail, and flooding killed more than 100 people. Flooding also trapped over 10,000 teachers and students in Guigang.
France has reported 301 drowning deaths since June 19 during a summer of record heat across Europe. The number is 14% higher than last season. The Sports and Youth Minister said many people went to the water to escape the heat, but some swam in forbidden areas or places without lifeguards. Repeated heat waves were blamed.
Canada will impose retaliatory tariffs on imports from the United States starting September 8th. Prime Minister Mark Carney said the measures will be worth about $20 billion, matching the U.S. tariffs. The targets will include steel, dairy products, and home appliances. Talks to avoid the tariffs broke down, and Carney said cooperation has limits.
Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Kihara says close cooperation with the United States and the wider international community is essential in dealing with North Korea. including the abduction issue. His comments came as President Trump expressed a desire to meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un within this year.
続いて、文化・芸能ニュースをお伝えします。
Talent and business owner Maomi Yuki, 46, has announced her divorce. She said she and her partner have ended their relationship as a married couple and will take new paths. They will continue raising their children together as mother and father. Yuki married a hairdresser in June 2013 and moved to Malaysia last August with her 2 daughters.
The anime series Yani Neko has stopped streaming in Taiwan, following a similar action in Hong Kong. Groups raised concerns about smoking scenes and visible cigarette brands. Taiwan's health authorities said services could face fines of up to 1 million Taiwan dollars if the law was violated. A creators group protested, saying the series may be satire about addiction, not advertising.
Actress Asaka Sito, 49, has announced a break from work after fracturing her first lumbar vertebra. She said she will focus on treatment and recovery under a doctor's care. Sito missed the August 17th broadcast of Zip, where she serves as the Monday personality. She apologized for worrying fans and asked for their support.
Manga artist Koko Uzuki will take a long break from the popular series Love Like a Deceptive Angel because of health problems and a need to reduce her workload. The manga has sold more than 2.25 million copies and will become an anime next year. Its return is currently planned for the January 2027 issue.
A cultural property rescue effort has begun in areas damaged by the Kumamoto earthquake in July. The goal is to save artworks and other cultural items from damage, deterioration, loss, and theft. At Shohinkan in Yatsushiro, strong shaking collapsed a white storehouse and damaged the main building and study hall.
The venue for the September 12th JT Shogi Kumamoto tournament has been changed from Grand Messe Kumamoto in Mashiki to Kumamoto Castle Hall in Kumamoto City. The change follows the 2026 Kumamoto earthquake. The event will now be called the Kumamoto Recovery Support Match. The children's tournament has been canceled.
The first game of the 7th Hakure match has ended with Hakure champion Tomoka Nishiyama defeating challenger Kana Fukuma in 128 moves. Nishiyama now holds 4 Hakure titles. Under a new rule, winning the title 5 times gives a female player the right to become a professional shogi player. Game 2 is September 29th.
Researchers have found the end of an arrow in mud from a Mongol invasion ship at an underwater site in Nagasaki. The 5.3-centimeter piece matches arrows used with crossbows in China's southern Song. A researcher says this valuable discovery supports the idea that Mongol forces reused southern Song weapons in their invasion of Japan.
Filming for the television drama Kaze, Kaoru ended on August 21st. The broadcaster announced the completion on August 23rd. Ai Mikami, who plays lead character Rin Ichinose, said she still could not feel that filming was over. Yuri Uesaka, who plays the other lead, said the experience had become a major treasure in her life.
今日のニュースは以上です。最後までお付き合いいただき、ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。